So before we get started, I want to show you that there are two different versions of the C route. This is the bad version. We don't want to be running this. This is very shallow. As you can see, they make their cut around the 25-yard line on each side. You're going to throw a lot of picks if you try to do what I am going to show you in this video using those routes. Now I'm going to show you the deeper kind, the ones we want to be running. So you're just going to have to look in your playbook and see which one. Now see how it's much deeper of a route? These are the routes we want to be throwing. So be careful, make sure you study your playbook, and do not throw the shallow C routes. So in this guide, I'm going to show you how to perfect throwing the C route. At the end of the video, you're going to get some gameplay footage from my league that I was in, where I went to the Super Bowl, using this play as my bailout over and over and over again. 4th down, 3rd and long. Anytime I felt like I needed a big play, this is what I went to, and I absolutely killed everyone with it. Nobody could stop me. So, versus man-to-man defense, what we want to do is we want to block both players in the backfield. Wait. As soon as he's about to make his cut, we just want to throw a bullet pass. We don't want to be pass leading in any direction. None of this like, oh, pull down and push into the sideline and throw a bullet pass. Like, all that stuff is confusing when it comes to rocket catching. So this, we're going to keep it real simple. And as soon as he makes his cut, we're going to throw a bullet. And as you can see here, the defender tries to make a play on the ball. Now, you're going to see that every once in a while, but it's very rare that even though the defender will go up to try to make the play, that he actually knocks it down. Especially versus man-to-man when there's only one defender there. So now I'm going to show you an example of when your timing is off. When you throw the ball a little too early. Now, as you can see there, I didn't get the spectacular catch animation. And had that been a zone, or had there been a couple more players in that area, I might have thrown a pick. So we definitely don't want to do that. So we want to be throwing the ball as soon as he makes his cut. Right there is when we want to be throwing the ball. But as you can see, I threw the ball early. The ball is already in the air when I should have had the ball releasing from my hand. So just practice over and over and over again, and watch my gameplay footage and watch this video a couple times and see where it is that I'm throwing the ball, that exact spot. You'll get the timing down. You know, the C route is, you know, it's pretty consistent as far as the route and the steps it has to take. And you're going to get it down, and you're going to be making this catch animation, spectacular catch, time and time again. And you're just going to be killing people with it. So, aside from throwing a bullet pass, what is it that we need to do? So he makes his cut, we throw a bullet, and as soon as we throw the ball, we want to click onto the receiver and just pull down on the left analog stick. Let's check it out. As soon as we throw the ball, so we're switched to him, we're pulling down on the analog stick and press the Y button. And it's going to give you that spectacular catch animation, and it's going to leave that defender in the dust every time. As you can see, he's right there for the play, but it doesn't matter. He gets confused as we go up for the spectacular catch animation, and there's nothing that he can do about it. So the reason I chose the San Diego Chargers to show you how to run the C route is obviously because of Vincent Jackson and Malcolm Floyd. They're both 6'5", they're absolute beasts, and they're perfect for running the C route with. But I want to show you that you don't need them in order to throw the C route. Patrick Creighton, a run-of-the-mill wide receiver, he's only 6 feet tall. He's able to get the spectacular catch animation just like Vincent Jackson and Malcolm Floyd were able to do. Now, in my league that I'm in, that you're going to see in the gameplay footage mostly, I drafted Vincent Jackson and Brandon Marshall. And the reason I did that is because I knew that this was going to be a big part of my offense. So I wanted guys that I knew was going to hang on to the ball, and guys where if I made a bad throw or my timing was off, that they would go up and they would make insane catches. Like, they would adjust and just come down with the ball when you wouldn't think that you were able to come down with it. So Patrick Creighton might not be that guy that's able to make those insane plays when you think that you made a bad throw, but it doesn't mean that if you're throwing the ball right that he's not going to be able to make the play. As you can see here, he does a fine job. So I just want to take a minute to show you about throwing this against man-to-man defense in practice mode to the left-hand side. For whatever reason, the defender, the cornerback, kind of gets in our way and disrupts our route a little bit. Now, you're going to say, oh, well, that stuff like that might happen in games, but it actually doesn't. When they play man-to-man, you don't get this type of interference. You can still do this against bump and run, no problem. But the type of interference that this cornerback is doing on our receiver, it's a little bit of a nuisance when you're trying to learn how to do this, and so you're in practice mode and you're trying to get the timing down, and this will screw you up a little bit. Now, as you can see, I still make the catch, no problem, because I'm so used to throwing the ball. But I just want to give you a little bit of warning against man-to-man defense. I would try practicing it to the right-hand side. Now I'm going to show you how to run this against a zone defense. Now, against man-to-man, we want to block both players in the backfield. But since we know that we're facing zone, we're going to leave both players on a route, especially in this play because they're going to the flats. And that's going to leave the wide receivers open even more on the sidelines. Now, we're doing this against a cover 3 defense, which is a defense that a lot of people love to use this year. And what happens is the players that are going into the flats are distracting defenders and making them play down towards the line of scrimmage, leaving both wide receivers on the outside wide open, while the user defender, our opponent, is playing deep over the middle. And we're just able to attack whatever sideline he's not going to. As you can see here, the defender's down playing in the flat, and our wide receiver's wide open by a good 10 yards. And we're able to make the catch. Here, same thing on the other side versus a cover 3, a very popular defense this year. Our receiver's wide open while the defender's covering the running back in the flats. So when you're facing zone defense, especially out of this particular shotgun formation, you definitely want these players going into the flats even if they're blitzing you. It's just going to help you get more wide open. So what I want to do here is take a closer look at what I was just talking about the flat defenders being sucked in by the routes to the sideline. So we're going to leave both routes, but let's just say we feel like we're being blitzed. It looks like on the right side maybe we're being blitzed, so we can block Antonio Gates and leave the flat and make a pass to the left-hand side if we feel like we're being blitzed. In this case, I'm just going to show you how it works. We're able to go and make a wide open catch with Vincent Jackson. Now let's take a closer look at exactly what happened here. This is not cover 3, this is a different random zone defense. And watch what happens. Look at both players are shadowing Vincent Jackson, and as soon as our player releases to the flats, those defenders get distracted by that, play closer to the line of scrimmage, leave our wide receiver wide open, and we're able to make a wide open catch on the C route. Take a look right there. He's being covered. As soon as the player hits the flats, they both chase after him, even that split second of going to the flat, leaving our wide receiver wide open. Now, as I said, you can block to one side of the field if you'd like. Let's say you're playing someone that's stubborn. They like to use the safety on the left or on the right every time. You're going to play a lot of people that are like that. They're always going to control the same guy. Now, in that instance, when we know that they're controlling the safety on the right-hand side of the field, we know we can make a block on the right-hand side of the field because we don't want to throw into user coverage, right? What we're doing is we're taking a peek to see who's being usered and throwing to the opposite side. So now I just want to show what happens when we block the flat routes against zone defense. Against man-to-man, it doesn't matter, but against zone defense, this is what happens. So we try to run the play. It looks like Vincent Jackson's going to be wide open, but instead the defender comes and makes a play on the ball. Now, why is that? Let's take a closer look. So right about here, it looks just like normal. It looks like we're able to get in behind that zone coverage. But because we don't have someone running to the flats, this defender here is able to back up and almost make a play on the ball. He doesn't need to run to the line of scrimmage anymore because we don't have a player running to the flats. Now, luckily for us, because of the slot receiver on the right-hand side of the field, it's taking the zone coverage deep, and we're still able to get wide open, even though we don't have a player running to the flats and the defender's not coming into the flats. So you still want to be careful, but this is just an example of what happens with zone defenses and how your receivers are going to become open downfield if you leave the flat routes. So what defense would you call against this offense? For me, I would call a cover 4. Look, the purple zones are to the sidelines. You got the blue zones. It just looks like the perfect defense for this. But to sound like a broken record, I really want to show you what happens even versus a cover 4 in this formation, when you've got two flat routes, exactly what it is that happens. This isn't Madden 10, it's not Madden 11. The purple zones actually play the flats this year. Last year, the year before, we were able to throw to the flats all day. But as you can see, even though that's not a flat zone on defense, the purple zone still comes down and tries to cover the flats because they're a smarter defense this year. So we want to make sure that we get those zones running to the sideline. And it's really going to leave our wide receivers wide open because those purples that should be defending the corner routes are coming down to the flats. Now let's see what happens when we block both players in the backfield. As you can see here, we try to go up and make a play. And we catch the ball. You know, it's practice mode. But this was a really bad decision. Look at all the defenders that we had to deal with. Now, if you're also playing a user that's going to click on and potentially make a play, this might have been intercepted. I mean, this is just way too much traffic to be throwing the ball into. And luckily, we come down with a catch. Because as you can see, that defender's not playing the flats anymore. Now, luckily, again, over here on the right side, we have that streak route. It's still great on the right-hand side, but remember, if you're playing someone that's usering on the right-hand side, just because the player's wide open, we always want to be throwing to the opposite side of the user, which makes it very important to leave the flat routes. So now I want to talk about what really makes this play so effective. When we snap the ball, there's a red circle that goes around the defender that's being user controlled on defense. Now, when we see that they're controlling the defender on the right side of the field, we know we're throwing to the left. When we see that they're controlling the defender on the left side of the field, we know we're throwing right. We don't want to have to run into anyone that can cheat on the play. You know, the computer controlled players are going to do their thing, they're going to do their zones, but as you can see here, the defender can come over and cheat on the play. He can cover the C route, make an interception, make a play on the ball. So we want to throw the ball to the opposite side because it's going to be very hard for him to click on and go and make a play the same way that he's able to when he's controlling the defender from the start of the play. So that's really the secret on why the play is so effective. And as you can see there, he cheats over to the sideline, and in this particular play, that's when we want to hit him deep to the slot receiver. As you can see, our player on the left is wide open while they're controlling the defender on the right side of the field. So again, very important. As soon as the ball snapped, look for that red circle and go to the opposite side every single time, and there's nothing that they can do. So I hope I did a good job at explaining how to do the C route. I just want to say again, the most important part when you watch the videos of the gameplay right after this, look to see when I'm clicking on, and all you do is click onto the receiver and pull down on the left analog stick and press Y. And you're just going to kill your opponents with this all day long.
Good coverage downfield. Up top! Oh, he hauls it in!
To shut him down, which allows one of the other defenders to get after the quarterback unblocked.
He's brought down.
Changed the play at the line of scrimmage. You could see the blitz coming. He didn't audible and only came to the receiver.
Good coverage downfield. Brings in another one. Still looking for an open man. And the tackle was made by the... Looking for a man. Passes out to his right. Watch out, he's got space. He's searching for a receiver. Up top. Oh, he hauls it in. Goes through his progression. He's brought down.
Hope to keep him off their quarterback.
And that opens up room for other defenders.
Yeah, exactly, and that's another reason why he's so dangerous. And a tough target to defend as well. The quarterback can deliver the ball in a place where either the receiver catches it.
Good coverage downfield. Leaps, and he's got it.
Now look for this team to be able to mix it up, and that can be so tough on the defense.
Up top. Oh! Goes through his progression. Has a man out to his right. Looking for a man. He's going to his right. Throws. 4 yards to pick up the first. He needs to get rid of it. He's going to his right. Throws. Still looking for an open man. He powers into the end zone for a